Dheem, tana dheem, tana na 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 na, tana dheem, oh tana dheem.
I am Abokali Jimomi, Ehsaas Woman of Dimapur, and I welcome you all to the Right Circle, an initiative of Prabha Khaitan Foundation. Today's event is organized with the support of Oil India Limited and in association with our hospitality partner, Niathu by the Park. We're extremely pleased to host the eminent journalist, Mr. Rasheed Kidwai, for today's edition of the Right Circle. Before we commence, I would like to say a few words about the foundation. Prabha Khaitan Foundation is committed to advancing creative and intellectual expression through sustained engagement with the performing arts, culture, education, literature, gender equality, and women's empowerment. Its programs are thoughtfully curated and include author interactions, book launches, literary festivals, panel discussions, boutique cultural events, and performances by singers, dancers, and theatre artists. Through these initiatives, the Foundation provides authors and artists with meaningful platforms to engage with audiences, encourage dialogue, and cultivate a deeper appreciation of the arts. Now, allow me to introduce you all to today's guest for the evening. Rasheed Kidwai is a distinguished journalist, author, columnist, and political analyst, widely respected for his incisive commentary and deep understanding of contemporary political discourse. He is currently a visiting fellow at the Observer Research Foundation, ORF, a former associate editor of The Telegraph. Mr. Kidwai brings with him decades of journalistic experience. An alumnus of St. Stephen's College, New Delhi, he holds a master's degree in mass communication from the University of Leicester in the United Kingdom. In addition to his writing, he is a familiar and authoritative voice on television, contributing regularly to leading news platforms such as CNN News 18, ABP News, NDTV, India Ahead News, and India Today TV. In conversation with the author today will be R Lungleng, a prominent political commentator and media personality. He is best known for hosting the Lungleng Show, a popular YouTube channel focusing on politics, development, and social issues in the Northeast India, particularly Nagaland. He is an intellectual who has shared insights on governance, tribalism, and societal transformation. We eagerly look forward to a great session ahead, and I would like to leave the floor to you both. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Well, I'll not repeat the introduction. Thanks for the beautiful introduction. Yeah, so I have read up a little bit about Rasheed Kidwai, and I'm really impressed by his understanding of Indian politics and his very vocal and the perspective that he brings to the viewers, even to the readers. I mean, it's really, really deep and very sharp. So I was quite impressed, and I read up some of his writings, and I went through the book that you shared, and I think that those were really powerful insights and perspectives that give to someone like me as well to look at Indian politics from a different angle and to understand it like in a very mature sense. So thanks for that, and we welcome you to Nagaland, sir.
Thank you for your kind words. May I take this opportunity to thank Prabha Khaitan Foundation, Women of Ehsaas, our host, Oil India, and my dear friend Abokali Jimomi, who will be coming here, and all the guests. Thank you very much. I think Nagaland is a wonderful place. Past 2 days I've received so much of warmth and affection that I really look forward to this interaction. I've heard so much about you, so to meeting you in person is a real honor.
Thank you so much. So Paul, I mean, our conversation will mostly revolve around politics, and we all know that politics is such a very hard topic, sensitive at the same time, and it involves a lot of criticism as well. But I think I was reminded of the quotation, a statement by Thomas Jefferson that I never considered difference of opinion in politics, religion, and philosophy as a reason and cause for withdrawing from a friend. So I think it's wonderful that we're able to have a conversation like this, and I'm looking forward to really learning a lot from you as well. So before we jump right into the subject of politics and your books, so we had a conversation that let's not just focus on the book that he has written recently, but we can just talk in general. I mean, coming back always in connection with the books as well. I just want to know personally, like, is it your first time to visit Nagaland?
Yes, no sir, yes.
Okay.
The first time.
What's your impression here?
I think it's a wonderful place, but it's also a very sort of telling commentary on the post-independent India, the way the states were created. So a lot of it was a very non-serious kind of exercise that had taken place. It was the first reorganization of states called the Justice Fazal Ali Commission that had led to the creation of various states. So when the maps were shown to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the Prime Minister, he looked at it and he was very amused. And he said, what happened? There were many linguistic states were created, and a lot of places that were left sort of unattended, they were described as Madhya Pradesh. So Nehru looked at it. Nehru said, "What is this camel-like thing?" So they said, "No, this is all a leftover of all the states. So we have created, so to say, the Central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh." So that is something. I was there in Mizoram last week. So I realized that actually there have been greater attention to creation in keeping with the linguistic and cultural and economic aspirations of the people. Perhaps the states would have been better organized.
Well, that's a wonderful observation. Like, what did you know about Nagaland before visiting the state, and what did you hear about this state, mostly as a commentator?
Sorry, you're asking a very difficult question to journalists. The one thing that always, I would say, amuses me and upsets me, the kind of, the Naga talks that have been going on. I think is 168th round is taking place.
I think more than that, it's 700, 800 already.
No, officially it is 168. So that kind of round, so much of negotiations going on. There should be some conclusion. So I think that is something, and I, as a journalist, I have known many interlocutors, etc. I've had interaction with them, and the kind of warmth and the kind of friendship they enjoyed while talking, celebrating birthdays and singing songs and a lot of things, and that would not translate into concrete action. So therefore I feel that, this is one thing that I feel that there should be resolution through in a democratic, vibrant democracy. There should be a very I would say time bound solution to the problems. At least an attempt should be there. You can't just go on talking.
And that will also depend a lot on the political will of the government of India from the other perspective. Now I think let's look at Indian politics at large. Now I want to analyze and assess this with you as in, BJP government, BJP party has been in power for the last 3 consecutive terms, and that has been really, really historic, I would say, because I think they have never been in power more than 3 consecutive terms. And when you look at Congress on the other side, it's been weakened and also fragmented as an opposition party. What is your calculation on this? We would take further from there, and then I would like you to just. Yeah.
So I think what you're asking is something quite profound, and there is no easy answer. At least in the evening, we cannot respond to it. I am basically not a political historian. I'm a storyteller. I can tell you the politics, the story of Indian politics. The history of Indian politics is very, I would say, complex, very difficult. We actually have a parliamentary democracy where the MPs were supposed to elect a prime minister, but now we have a situation where prime minister elects members of parliament. So this is a very much negation of what the democratic principles stand for. The Indian democracy is working very well, is very vibrant. At the same time, we also have, when you were quoting Thomas Jefferson's quote, I just thought that once upon a time Jefferson was a president of the United States. Now you have Donald Trump. And you know the kind of principles of Jefferson you're talking about are not in practice in US. And similarly, our country has also gone through a lot of, I would say, highs and lows and up down. The success of BJP has been to club many things together: cultural nationalism, muscular nationalism, the issue of identity, majoritarianism, and of course a lot of hard work that goes in. The story of Congress was actually, the strength of Congress was the absence of ideology. It was like a railway platform where everyone could come and come on board. And whenever there is been an emotive issue, the Congress falls between two stools. So the Congress requires some kind of ideological sharpness, which is lacking. Its strength has become its weakness. The BJP's weakness has become its strength. I don't know whether it solves your answers your question or not, but that has been nothing. So we are a very American kind of presidential style of democracy, where one man, if the one man's popularity goes beyond 50%, which is the case of Mr. Narendra Modi, there is nobody who can match. You look at, just to substantiate what I'm saying, Mr. Modi's popularity has never been less than 54% in India. The BJP's vote share has never been more than 38% in India. So that means there are people who like Mr. Modi but who don't like BJP. But that kind of contradiction is not reflected in results, because we have first past the post system. So people getting perhaps with less votes can be more successful.
I observe a lot of contradictions there, as in not from your statement, but how the Indian system works. Like you said, it's a parliamentary system, but we elect our leaders as if like he's going to be the president and he's going to frame all policies. And totally agree with you with the fact that we elect our parliamentarians and then they choose the prime minister, but that's not the case anymore. But why do you think the opposition parties are so fragmented and they are not able to form a united front, and they don't even have a coherent political vision? I mean, in a very coherent sense. I mean, you have observed this from us behind as well.
Yes, I'm glad you asked this question. And this is something, so in politics it's not like arithmetic. 2 and 2 don't become 4. At present in India we have a BJP, which is of course a single largest party, a principal opposition party. You have the Congress, which was the principal pillar of Indian democracy, a lot of history, and you have regional parties. The regional parties are of two types. One are, people like Mamata Banerjee's party, Jagan Mohan Reddy's parties, those parties, Sharad Pawar's party, which broke away from Congress. So they are from the Congress family but antagonized. So they can never come close to Congress because they have to prove a point. And there are political parties which came in existence opposing to the Congress, like all the Janata Party and Janata Dal and various socialist groups that we know. So the DNA of the opposition is actually the opposition to the Congress. And there lies a problem. And in India, if you look at the alliance politics, a very successful model is there, many of you would know, in Kerala. So there is a UDF and LDF, the two alliances. So the alliances always have a dominant partner. If you look at the coalition politics in India, 1977, Janata Party was a dominant party, or Lok Dal of Charan Singh. Then came VP Singh's party in 1989 when the United Front, National Front was formed. So there is always a dominant party and there are minor parties. At present, if you look at the opposition, to answer your precise question, they don't want Congress as a dominant partner. They want co-equals. Mamata Banerjee wants co-equality. Arvind Kejriwal wants it. Akhilesh Yadav wants it. Everybody. And there lies the problem. So in politics, you cannot have co-equals as members. And there is, as I said, there is a lot of historical baggage. Either parties are broken away from Congress, or they are their DNA is anti-Congress, like Aam Aadmi Party and Samajwadi Party and others. So therefore, it's not adding up. And therefore, as I said, the BJP with 38% is winning, and whereas 62% people who are opposed to them are not coming together. I mean, it's a simplistic way, but that's how it is.
Correct. But what is your assessment on this? Is it possible to harness this 62% of the voters from the opposition parties? Do you think it's recommendable?
My friend was just telling me that, you just say things, you don't go to the solution. The solution is not in our hand. See, but I can tell you one thing, whenever there is a strong national political phase, it's always followed by coalition. You look Jawaharlal Nehru, a very towering person. After when Jawaharlal Nehru ceased to be when he died in 1964, by 67 there was a 7 non-Congress ruled states in 1967 election. The Congress own strength went down, and there were a lot of non-Congress governments came in the country. Again, Indira Gandhi was a very powerful person. When Indira Gandhi sort of in 1977 when she lost election, again it was big coalition. Similarly, Rajiv Gandhi with 413 kind of Lok Sabha MPs mandate, it was followed by coalition. So one strong personality is always followed by, you look at Atal Bihari Vajpayee, again a strong personality, followed by coalition. And then you have now Narendra Modi. So theoretically speaking, if you look at history, there is every possibility that next government will be a coalition government.
Well, that's a nice pattern that you have really displayed based on historical facts. Also, when you mentioned about the ideology, Congress ideology and BJP ideology, when I look at the BJP manifesto in their campaigns, they mostly focus on nationalism, national security, defense, and cultural identity. I think that really addresses the emotions of the people. And while Congress still, is stuck to social welfare, NAI, and I think free housing, free healthcare, of course, they are also very important. When you look at the rural and urban vote sharing, so the rural is about, I think, 68 something. So
yeah, you are very right, but facts speak quite otherwise. You see, we always have a narrative and optics. It is under the Congress government. This is not me which I say it. It is under the Congress governments that India won 4 decisive wars of 1948, of 1962. Of 1965, 1971. That political party is dubbed as some kind of detrimental to national interest. I have written a book, it's in Hindi, it's called Bharat Ke Pradhan Mantri, where I have examined the conduct of 14 prime ministers. No prime minister, and this is based on research and dispassionate thinking, no Indian prime minister was weak. Every prime minister had a good intention. Some prime ministers got a lot of time, like Jawaharlal Nehru got 16 years, Indira Gandhi got 17 years, Dr. Manmohan Singh got 10 years, Mr. Modi has got 12 years, Chandrasekhar got 4 months, and Indra Kumar Gujral had a few months, and Deve Gowda, etc. But in comes to intention, they were all very, very nationalistic, and they had a very strong sense of national pride. Just allow me to narrate a small incident. Mr. Indra Kumar Gujral, many people who are aware, many times the BJP says he was a weak prime minister. And I want to tell you a story about Indra Kumar Gujral that I have written. So Gujral Sahab he was a Indian ambassador to the USSR, what is known as Russia now. He was posted there, and Indira Gandhi went to see President Brezhnev. Brezhnev was a very powerful leader of the USSR. So when the meeting was taking place, Indira Gandhi noticed that Mr. Brezhnev was looking at Indra Kumar Gujral's watch, like the watch you are wearing, and he kept looking. So Indira Gandhi just nudged him and said in Hindi, she said, just give it to him, present it to him. Gujral didn't. 3 times Indira Gandhi nudged him to offer that watch, because that was a HMT watch, the Indian company, Hindustan Machine Tools, that watch was there. So Indira Gandhi as Prime Minister came out, ambassador with her, and Indira Gandhi said, Indra Kumar, what were you doing? I was telling you to present watch to him. President Brezhnev was looking with lot of interest. Why you didn't do it? Look at Gujral's reply. Gujral said, Madam Prime Minister, I am an Indian ambassador to USSR. It is my national pride that does not allow me to, open my watch and present it to head of another state. I will not do it. I will never do it. And later on, Gujral, he got a set of 5 watches, HMT watches from India, and as a diplomat, he went and presented it to Brezhnev as a gift from India. So I'm just telling you the kind of character that Mr. Gujral had, and people say that he was a weak prime minister.
So the corollary here is that everyone is nationalistic and patriotic in every sense, every prime minister. However, how they are communicating to the voters, because for political party, winning is what matters the most for them, for every political party. Is the Congress doing that effectively and efficiently, like the BJP is selling to the voters, their ideas, like how they are going to take the nations forward? What is your assessment?
So I think it is very difficult it is not that, again, for those who have a great interest in politics, it is not that the quality of opposition was very bad when Jawaharlal Nehru or Indira Gandhi were prime ministers. Ramanohar Lohia was there, Jyoti Basu was there, several other Morarji Desai, many towering people were there. They were not able to nail or corner either earlier Jawaharlal Nehru or later on Indira Gandhi. Their efforts were there, but they could not get the requisite numbers or the kind of votes. We see a similar situation. A voter of Mr. Narendra Modi is very, very, I would say, settled. As I said, his popularity is 54%. There is no way you can beat him in that sense. But state elections do, indicate that other political parties do win. We look at Bengal of last time and this time. So it is not that the intention is not there. You can go on criticizing Rahul Gandhi, but Rahul Gandhi is doing a very difficult job. See, if you look at again the history of political parties in India, a political party that starts going down, goes down. They don't come back. Here is a political party, that being Congress, which got 44 seats in 2014, got 52 seats in 2019, and bounced to 99, and now it carries 100 seats. This is very rare across the world, democracies. Political parties don't bounce back. The Congress vote bank has remained intact to about 19%, 20% or something like that. They need to do a lot, but what I'm saying is, it is not a one-sided story. It's a very difficult thing. There is a lot of negative narrative that the Congress or Rahul Gandhi speaks, and that is, I think, is not people are not finding it attractive enough to the young voters or to the youth or to the diversity of India. But if you look at I don't want to get into debatable points, but if you look at the things like how the delimitation commission works in India, how the kind of divide between north and south on the basis of population, people who are having a better family planning, they are getting less seats, or they have got less seats. So there is a lot of I would say challenges are there in democracy. That is not an excuse, but that explains why certain regions or certain narrative is there. I just want to make more point, because you are an intellectual and you are a very thinking person, and I just want everybody to think about it. It's not about one party or another. As we know, Indira Gandhi was also a kind of dictator, and she imposed emergency, and there was a lot of hardship. So it's not that one political party is better or not. But the issue of propriety. We have a Westminster model of parliamentary democracy that we took it from Great Britain, which does not have a written constitution, where defection is very, very rare or unthinkable. People all their life, they are conservative party, they die as conservative, they are liberals or they are Labour party. In our country, defections are very easy.
Yeah.
And there is no counts, either the political parties or the voters.
Yeah.
There is no sense of propriety, as Mr. Lalu Yadav had very famously has said. When Lalu Yadav was asked to resign on that fodder scam during, I think it was Gujarat government or Deve Gowda government, and Laluji said, I have seen football grounds, I have seen hockey ground, I have seen polo ground, but I have not seen moral ground. What is a moral ground?
What ground?
Moral ground.
Moral ground.
Can you answer this?
I don't know the context.
So this is why he said, why should I resign on moral ground? Because there is no moral ground. Is it visible? Can we see? Have you seen moral ground?
Okay.
So I want you to respond.
No, I don't see moral. It's not visible. It's not tangible. Okay, thanks for shedding light on that. Now I would like to also, jump into the topic of dynasty in politics. That you have written a book on the House of Scindia as well. I think that is strongly connected to that as well. And you have slightly briefly mentioned that Scindia has ruled India more than the Gandhis,
Yes, friends, if I ask any of you here that who has enjoyed the fruits of democracy post-independent India maximum, many people would answer that it is the Nehru-Gandhi family that has immensely benefited. 3-4 prime ministers, so much of this thing stayed in power. But when I was writing the book called House of Scindias, the Scindias have been in power for last 300 years. Since Ranoji Maharaj became, this thing of that 1789, since then there has been a consistent line of in power as long as monarchy was there, the Scindia Empire was there. The day in 1947, 15th of August, the monarch that Jivaji Rao Scindia, this Jyotiraditya Scindia's grandfather, he became Rajya Komuni, which is governor. In very few people would know that Rajmata Vijay Raje Scindia, who is a founder of BJP, she served as Congress MP from 1957 to 1962. So there has been not a day in independent India where a member of Scindia family was not in Lok Sabha or in Vidhan Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is constitution, but Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha. The Gandhis were missing from the house. Rajiv Gandhi died, as we know, on that 21st of May 1991, and Sonia Gandhi became member of parliament way back in I think it was May, not May, October 1999 from the Bellary and Amity. So that is a kind of history, but history is presented in such a way that it looks, it lacks facts. So Scindias have enjoyed fruits of power from the very beginning till now, till date.
Okay, that's things. But one thing I'm very proud of our state like Nagaland is we don't have the politics dynasty actually. Like whoever became chief minister, their son does not necessarily become powerful politicians again later on in the future. So politics here is like power is quite distributed, I would say. We have our friend, you have your friend. His father was one of the longest serving chief ministers, but still there's no transfer of power like that, like we see in the rest of the country. That's something I think very democratic in a way. It may not be our creation, but that's what is happening here. Maybe that's the choice.
But just to interrupt you, and you see, nothing is simple in India. Whatever you say about India, the opposite is equally true. You are making a very strong point about a dynasty, and I would also say that dynasty is an antithesis of democracy. Mm-hmm. But my friend, if you look at the women participation in Indian politics, you will see that had it not been dynasty politics, the number of women participation is just about 10%. It would have fallen to 2 to 3%. Whether from Indira Gandhi to Vijay Raja Scindia to a lot of people who are there in the present Lok Sabha also. When you were discussing, I have written a book called Missing from the House, Muslim Women MPs in Lok Sabha. You know how many Muslim women have been elected to Lok Sabha? I know Nagaland recently had a woman MLA first time.
Yeah, for the first
time. Yeah. So Muslim women participation has been very, very negligible. Out of that over 5,000 MPs, out of 690 women MPs who have made it to Lok Sabha, the number of Muslim women are just 18 in all 18 Lok Sabha. And there have been 5 Lok Sabhas where there was no Muslim women MP, and the Muslim population is 16%, and Muslim women would make 8% of 140 crore people. It is more than some of the nations in the world. And out of that 18, 13 are dynasts. So if you remove dynasty, then you would have very little or negligible participation. So I am not making a case for dynasty politics. The point I am saying that nothing is simple. If you criticize dynasty beyond a point, it is actually harming democracy. Because actually nobody is a dynast, because if he goes on a fight election, people know and people are voting. So are we questioning the people's sort of wisdom or their ability to vote? So those who are elected, I would think that they are not in kind of thing about as dynasty politics. This is very unfair. But as long as they are winning, there are a lot of things are unfair. Rich always wins. I just take a 1 minute. We recently conducted at Observer Research Foundation, we conducted research on how much money was spent in 2024 Lok Sabha. Can you make a guess?
From all the parties?
Yes.
I can't guess.
Yes, you are among friends.
Maybe more than $1 billion.
Billion dollar. Come in rupees, yeah. So according to the election commission, 5,780 crores rupees were spent. That is, candidates have their polls, this thing ceiling of 75 lakh rupees or so. The Observer Research Foundation with the University of Westminster, UK, we conducted a study and we came to a figure 1,32,000 crore rupees. Can I repeat? 1,32,000 crore rupees. The cost of one vote in Tamil Nadu, he has a lot of friends in Tamil Nadu. The cost of one vote in Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Karnataka is 7,000 to 8,000 rupees. A cost of one vote in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh is about 3,000. The cost of one vote in this part of the world, 4,000 rupees. One vote. So,
That you are wrong.
I'm wrong, more.
This part of the world you are wrong.
No, I said this is part of the study, and they have calculated in a way that it's about seeking ticket, it's about how you conduct, how an elected leader has to conduct, 5 years, because it requires a lot of cultivation, you go to weddings and funerals, everything we have taken in account. It's not, so a politician has to, end of the day, has to spend a lot of money. And there is a lot of black money, there is a lot of liquor, there is a lot of incentives, there are a lot of and people, give money to political parties to get ticket. And many times they don't get tickets. So all these things have been factored in. So it's not just a question of election. It is the cost of election of 2024 which has been massive.
I think you were saying that you are underrating the amount that we're spending.
I have no difference.
Yeah, anyway.
In this part of the
in this part of the world.
Actually, yeah.
I got the
Yes, I would not comment much on the local level,
Yes.
dynastic politics, but at the national level now, let's take a look at it. Of course, BJP has also lots of dynastic politicians as well. But people blame a lot on Rahul Gandhi, despite not him being the most competent leader. He is always given the chance to lead Congress, and that's why it has pushed many people to defect, like Jyotiraj Scindia, even this Sajjan Pilot almost defected from the party, but he doesn't have any regional party, strong regional party in Rajasthan. He had no option other than choosing BJP, but he didn't want to choose that.
Yeah.
So a lot of examples like this. So
I think you have raised a very pertinent issue. What happens again, if you look at the history of Congress, whenever there is adversity sets in, people leave and quit. It's quite a natural phenomena. So in 1967, when, as I said, the Congress under Indira Gandhi started losing control or grip after Jawaharlal Nehru's death, and Shastriji also died. So there was a split in 1969. The great split of 1969 took place, and Indira Gandhi actually lost the organization. She had more MPs, and that's how she survived. So in adversity, what happened? The Congress split, what is known as Congress O. Next thing, again Indira Gandhi loses in 1977. 3/4 of Congress people leave Indira Gandhi. So that is known as Congress I, which has become now official Congress. Point I am making a very limited point, that in terms of adversity, people leave. Now, when Rajiv Gandhi lost 89, there was of course the VP Singh and Jan Morcha and all. Large number of Congress people, they went out and formed a political party. Pranab Mukherjee had also formed a party, and they went out and formed a party. During P.V. Narasimha Rao's time, the Congress split in many ways. By the time between 96 when he lost, there was a Scindia Congress that Madhavrao Scindia formed the Madhya Pradesh Vikas Congress. There was this Bangarappa, he formed a political party. That Arjun Singh and Narendra Tiwari, known as Congress T, that they were formed. What I'm saying is, a lot of splits take place. And after that, during KCG's time, this Mamata Banerjee's TMC was formed. Several political parties were formed. You will find it very strange and again abnormal phenomena. 3 defeats: 2014, 2019, and 2024. No split. Have you seen any political party has been formed? Why?
ideology.
And and I have documented 150 leaders of the Congress, 150 of some consequences, they have left in regular interval. Many people left between 2014 to 2017, many people left from 17 to 19. Every time there is election, people leave. Have you noticed Very few people, or at least to my knowledge, nobody has left since June 4th, 2024. Has anybody left?
Not that officially, but
So
the
I-
associated almost left.
No, it's very much, no, it's very much part of it. Point I'm making is very different. It is actually designed. It is bleeding Congress wide. It is to show Congress party as a party that is very weak. Indira Gandhi, when 77 split took place, she knew who was on her side. They regrouped, and by 1980, as you know, she came back to power, the great comeback. So, but if people leave at regular intervals, after every 2 years to 6 months time, and powerful leaders, that makes the party look very silly. Like we are talking about it. So, has it been done by design or has it been done by accident? I'll leave it to your judgment. Point I am saying, as I said, nothing is simple in India.
Yeah, it's not simple. You can't make a conclusion. Now, I think I would like to jump into Bollywood, our Bollywood actor representatives in Indian politics. We have seen, like, from Amitabh Bachchan or Devanand in late 1970s and Amitabh Bachchan in the 80s. They were performing really well, and after that, a lot of people followed up again. But there are a lot of successful Bollywood actresses and actors who are in politics as well. They're not, and most of them also left because they find it kind of very boring and they become irrelevant in the field of politics as well. So how are you assessing a lot of people joining into politics, not fully understanding what they're going to be expected of it, or they just join because there are pressures upon them?
Yeah. Thank you for raising this issue. This is actually, I wrote a book. It's called Neta Abhideta, Bollywood Star Power in Indian Politics, where I have documented all the film actors who actually not only came to politics but made it to parliament, either to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. And there I came across as a very human side, a very interesting side, a very fascinating side of the film stars who were drawn to politics. One reason is actually about longevity in public life. So from real life you want to move to real life, and so you are so used to adulation of the public that you want to extend. But when you join politics, you become a polarizing person. You look at Kangana Ranaut, you look at any person, Hema Malini, they become a polarizing person or personalities, even by extension Akshay Kumar and several others. This was something, this is upsetting. So Amitabh Bachchan, when he became as a friend of Rajiv Gandhi, he joined politics and he was a giant killer and he was a very hands-on person. In fact, I am writing a book on Amitabh and Jaya, saying the shared passions. Both of them are actually very political, and all their life they have been, like politicians. So film stars also have so when Amitabh started getting bad press, he went to Assam, and somebody said that at that time Assam was undergoing a lot of trouble. I'm talking about late 1980s, and he was told that we like you but we don't like Congress. So Amitabh used that as a ground to resign, and Amitabh's resignation was not a simple thing. Rajiv Gandhi had 413 Lok Sabha seats, almost full majority, more than a majority. But when by-election took place, the VP Singh won, and that turned out to be, it happened in 1987, and that led to downfall of Rajiv Gandhi, because opposition realized that Rajiv Gandhi can be beaten, Congress can be beaten. So it was a turning point, triggered by a film actor. Okay. You talked about Devanand, very interesting. Devanand had a very strong sense of nationalism and national duty. He formed a party called National Party of India in 1980, and he had very good galaxy of people who had joined him. Devanand's party manifesto was also very promising. No income tax, free ration, free job, all kind of things. So the people who had joined him were, there's a very famous economist called Nani Palkiwala, Jawaharlal Nehru's sister Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, and several stalwarts. So when 1980 election took place, Devanand's National Party wanted all of them to fight election. They said, no, we want to go to Rajya Sabha. But Devanand said that you can't go to Rajya Sabha because first my party has to win enough MLAs to be able to send to somebody to Rajya Sabha. So this has been history. I have a lot of stories, but what I'm saying is many of them were very serious and determined. Sunil Dutt, he led a lot of march, and he was very serious politician. Many Shatrughan Sinha, many came from what we call it as a political movement. Raj Babbar, many of them came and joined politics and did a lot.
And that came as a response to Indira Gandhi's authoritarian
Yes.
regime. Now, in connection with the resignation or Amitabh leaving politics, it was, I think, partly influenced by Bofor scandal as well. And Bofor scandal now, Chitra Subramaniam, who wrote about it, who exposed the Congress government, then about Bofor scandal under Rajiv Gandhi. I think what's very interesting, I want to talk to you from the point of journalism, it's ethical journalism. Now, you assess Chitra Subramaniam as a hero. She really exposed it, and that's what journalists should do. Now, when you look at her now, she has joined Republic TV. I think Republic now is fully defensive of the current government which is in power. Now, I want you to, just tell us something on the current status of Indian journalism, like what is going on, because someone like her joining Republic TV is something questionable from a point of view.
So, to answer in a very precise manner, every individual has a right to learn and live.
Yeah.
So, it is not just a sole domain of political parties or politicians to change side and go the other side. Journalism also. See, the Indian journalism is undergoing a lot of challenges because the technology has taken over. Journalism is no longer what it used to be, and what is journalism? Journalism actually it's a media, what we call it. Media is a mirror of society. We have a very fragmented society, not only in terms of economic criteria, but politically, from the point of religion and sex. We are very polarized, we are very divided, and we have a lot of self-righteousness. So we think that what we think is right. Now, one of the things, because I have studied mass communication as my subject, this was way back in 1989. At that time, I had not thought that I will see this side of media. So, one of the research that tells about mass media is that media actually perpetuates the existing belief system. So, if you believe that media is perpetuating existing belief, then what television you will see today, you will see that it is reflecting. So one side of media is very pro-government, what is known as Modi media, and the other side of the media is very anti-government. To my mind, from an ethical point of view, both of them, their conduct is questionable. But again, like our democracy is very vibrant and flawed, both. Similarly, our media is very much vibrant, it's happening. And why do we look at just few television channels to decide that media is biased? You mentioned in Republic TV, a lot of this thing.
Yeah.
Why don't you look at the newspapers? I was telling Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who's a Congress communication in charge, when they were saying, oh, media is, I said, you look at from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, I mean, like Rahul Gandhi Bharat Jodo Yatra, said every state has a newspaper that is anti-government. Even in Mr. Narendra Modi's Gujarat Samachar is the biggest critic of Mr. Narendra Modi. Not today, but from the time that he became Chief Minister. So there is a lot of online portals are there, and end of the day, my friend, it is the consumers. So you have newspaper consumers, you have television consumers, and you have online consumers. India is the second largest consumer of internet in the world. So we watch, we hear what we want to. So I'm not saying in defense of the messenger, but messenger, and there is a lot of economics.
That's true. But I think in this term we call it echo chamber.
Yes.
I think it reflects.
So you want to hear that echo chambers?
Correct. So
many of the YouTubers are doing I'm not talking about you. Many YouTubers are also doing.
Yeah.
So victimhood is also a big industry.
That's true. And I think till the paucity of time, the last one very important question would be related to your new book, which is the scam that shook the nation. I think I have flipped through and run through your chapters, and it's such a very engaging and persuasive book. And I think it gives me a lot of new perspectives, like I said, from the point of view that state uses its mechanism to make people forget about like the actual root cause of problems. Like you mentioned Nagarwala, like who was the real culprit, but he was nabbed. And then in the process, people forget that, okay, the action has been taken, but we don't actually know, the people did not actually know the root cause where the overarching power of government is not questioned, and people don't question that. But people were happy that he was caught and nabbed, and it's done. But actually, we don't address the root cause of the problem. I think that's a very powerful perspective, and I mean, whoever is here wanting to read that book, I'm sure he's going to give out today, and you can just go through that book, and it'll give you.
Thank you. Actually, there is paucity of time. Otherwise, yes, my friend has brought this subject of the scam that shook a nation, the Nagarwala scandal. And very briefly, I'll mention that please do have a look at that book and read it. What happened? And one day of May 1971, someone called up the State Bank of India, that Parliament Street branch, and saying that I'm P.N. Haksar, the Principal Secretary to Prime Minister, and Indira Gandhi would want to talk to the Chief Cashier of the State Bank of India. The Chief Cashier that was also Bhakti Kal of different era. You know what is Bhakti Kal? Bhakt.
Yeah.
And the Bhakti,
Unquestioned.
Yeah. So that time also Anubhakti was there. So that man picks up phone, Mr. Malhotra, and he says, Jai Mata Ji. Indira Gandhi, she was saying Mataji. So someone who mimicked Indira Gandhi's voice, saying that there is she needs 60 lakh rupees for Bangladesh. At that time, war in Bangladesh was about to take place, and there was a lot of disquiet was there on our eastern front. So what Mr. Malhotra does next, and 60 lakh was a huge amount of money. We have calculated at the present, money, if we convert it, it was 173 crore rupees. So he puts it in a big huge trunk, puts it in a car, and there was actually the person had said, the caller had said that you hand over to somebody who would say, "Main Bangladesh ka Babu," the code word, and hand it over to there was a church called Freemason Church, which is still there at Parliament Street. That person will be there and he'll receive it. And the person received it and he went away. Now Malhotra went to Indira Gandhi's house. That time there was not much of security, to get a kind of receipt that Indira Prime Minister has asked for 60 lakh rupees. He was told that Prime Minister is in Parliament. And at that time, there was no phone that, anybody could make a call. So then Malhotra became very suspicious. He ran to Parliament. When he entered Parliament, old Parliament building, he saw that P.N. Haksar was standing there. And Haksar said, I have not made any call. So there was a huge drama. Anyway, the police solved that case in 2 days. And Mr. Nagarwala, who was a Parsi army captain, he was caught and sent to 2 years of rigorous imprisonment, and then he dies in custody. And the trial was also went through. 2 prime ministers were interrogated, commission of inquiry, nothing came out. Somebody said it is a CIA operation, somebody said Indira's son Sanjay Gandhi wanted that money, all kind of conspiracy theories. Just to conclude, for us, I have written that book along with my friend Mr. Prakash Patra, a senior journalist. For us, it was very easy and tempting to reach to a conclusion. To say that Indira Gandhi did it, Sanjay did it, CIA did it, RAWD did it, IB. We didn't, because we were not in a position. So the path to truth is sometimes very challenging. And in today's world, because I have a lot of grey hair, or no hair, even grey hair, I think our younger generation, we are very curious and very, very eager to reach to the conclusion. It's not easy. So inconclusive, but it tells you how the police functions. Police 1971, and we are in 2026. How I wish I would have said the police method of investigation has improved. They just make someone guilty and they prove the charges.
Well, yeah, that's a powerful proposition. I want to touch upon the weaponization of state institutions by the current, not current government, but by the government ourselves. Now we have seen in the state of Bihar, the SIR through the Election Commission of India and Enforcement Directorate, which are being weaponized by the state to attack the opposition parties, the leaders and so on. So I think your current book is strongly related to that as well, the government weaponizing its existing institutions to punish or to attack the opposition parties.
Thank you for raising this issue. I'll be very careful, at the same time very candid, because a lot of it is actually political substance.
Yeah.
And as a journalist, I would want to stay away from it. What is happening today that the institutions are actually succumbing to a lot of pressure. There is no doubt about it. The framers of constitution had never envisaged a situation where you see elements of executive, legislature and judiciary will come together and there will be some kind of quid pro quo. So it's a very telling commentary. At the same time, we are not able to actually nail, first of all, the issue of propriety that I was telling you, the absence of propriety is creating a lot of problems, and the opposition is actually happy to be unhappy in that state of mind. If we assume that 60 lakh people were denied voting right in Bihar, the RJD, which is a very big political party and has roots and ears to the ground, they should have paraded at least 50,000 people who have been denied votes. And I said the same thing about Uttar Pradesh. Now they are saying SIR is taking place, 2 crore. See, the political parties are they tend to outsource their work. So there are a lot of survey agencies and they do that work. Whether they do substantive work or they just do, I don't want to name all those, election management companies and all. Political parties need to have a mechanism, 24/7 mechanism. Look at every constituency. If you have a booth and ward and block level party functionaries, then you should know who's a voter and who's not. Bring that list and match it with the election commission. Of course, this is not to give credit to election commission. Why in India in 2026 we have a electoral roll that is for parliament, Lok Sabha election. We have another electoral roll which is for the state assembly, and we have another electoral roll that is for municipal election. Why can't we have one? Look at the kind of identity cards. We have so many identity cards: PAN card, Aadhaar card, voter card, driving license, so many of them. Why can't we have a national identity card? So there are a lot of issues that remain unanswered, and it is a collective failure. And ultimately, just to sum up, it is actually citizenry. Citizenry is not strong. People don't want to. You look at what is happening in Davos. The moment Donald Trump came, there were so many protests are going on. So the protests may not make any substantive difference to the mind and working of Donald Trump, but at least people are coming out and manifesting.
Right. But you're saying we're not doing that enough.
We are not doing that enough, and the state has, just to provoke everybody here, and the state has become very, very dominant. See, if you look at the social contract theory of political science, Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, it is the citizens who have given, it is the people who have created state. State has not created people. So we are basically the first and only stakeholders. But if you look at the laws and governance, and every political party is responsible for it, it is just not to blame the present government. So the state has become very dominant, and this is something actually is a big challenge, not only in India, but globally this is a big challenge, that state has become very dominant.
And I think recently you made one powerful comment that Rahul Gandhi is not communicating efficiently with his workers. And I think so had Rahul Gandhi been more efficient in doing that, how he's going to deliver things, will the election have been successful?
Yes, no, I think yes and no. I think yesterday I was there on some TV channels, and the new BJP president, Mr. Nalin
Napin.
Yes, he was appointed, and of course the very surcharged debate, and they were all saying that look, the BJP has a very young party president, and why can't the other political parties look at it? Again, a very fashionable narrative, attractive narrative that would attract you and many people sitting here, particularly young. But you see, if you look at it more seriously, is there a political party in India that has inner party democracy?
Not at all.
Whether it is the left parties or the BJP or the Congress, at least the Congress had few elections. You look at Mamata Banerjee. What is the kind of organizational setup she has? But she wins. Look at Mayawati. That BSP does not even have a constitution, party constitution. What she says is a constitution. She wins. I mean, in the past she has won. So therefore, there is no correlation between the organizational strength or absence of it and the the electoral outcome. I hope that answers your question. Please. You look at the BJP. The BJP came in being in 1980. It got 2 seats in 1984. It got 89. The BJP always had this organizational network, the RSS, the Panna Pramukh, the Bhajpa, Yuva Morcha and various organs all along. They never crossed 272. When did they cross 272? When they had Mr. Narendra Modi on the big ticket.
I think it also depends on the charisma of the leadership.
Precisely, you said it, yeah.
The question is, does Rahul Gandhi have that charisma? It's one point. And another thing is, of course, no party conducts fair and democratic elections to elect a president. That's like well-established fact. But also the point is, someone like Dr. Shashi Tharoor was not elected as president. Rather, Mr. Kharge was elected in 2022 from Congress.
Yes, you are. So the election took place, you must acknowledge that, where Mr. Shashi Tharoor got 1078 votes.
Correct.
And Mr. Kharge had something like 7987 votes. So this is party in a democracy. Mr. Tharoor is very much, I actually have known him and I've several times I've asked him, I say why you didn't contest the kind of other elections of the parliamentary party and others. See, there is an absence of inner party democracy in all political parties and Congress is not an exception.
Yeah.
To Rahul Gandhi's credit, you see, he could have become a minister in Dr. Manmohan Singh's cabinet. Manmohan Singh ji himself told me today, still he has, that first deserve then desire. Now, how do you decide that when you deserve? See, on a more simplistic term, I'll say, we have a political system where there is a 543 Lok Sabha seats.
Yeah.
Out of 500 Lok Sabha seats, the majority mark is 272. So, at least Congress under Rahul or Rahul under Congress, whichever, he needs to have a half of half. So, the moment Congress gets 150 Lok Sabha seats and the other regional parties like Mamata Banerjee's and DMK and others, then only Mr. Rahul Gandhi can be a contender. Because, parliamentary democracy demands that you should have majority, simple majority. That if you don't have 272, at least have half of it. That's what Dr. Manmohan Singh at that time of the Congress had. So I think there is an element of ethical or morality in what Rahul Gandhi is saying or doing. You may find it very unfashionable or a bit bizarre, but he is very simple, he is very clear in his mind, first deserve, then desire.
But when people look at their record as well, right? Like their performance record in the past, people even look at it. Narendra Modi was a powerful candidate of Prime Minister because Gujarat was a model state then, and he has been awarded as the best chief minister of India for several times. So he had that record. But Rahul Gandhi does not have anything.
Yes.
And the millennials consist of like 40% of voters based in India. So millennials look at that, millennials think critically nowadays. And the point is that it matters, the past record of a politician as well.
My friend, I wish I could, what you're saying is, your formulation is right, but your conclusion is wrong. Why I'm saying? Because age is not a factor in Indian politics. Except for Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, who was barely 40 when he became Prime Minister. Every Indian Prime Minister has been 60, if not in 70s. This is a reality. Why do you think a person like Nitish Kumar, I don't want to comment on his any kind of physical challenge or so, wins against a Tejasvi who was a much younger, or for the Prashant Kishore and others. So there is no that a younger leader would get more votes or find more attraction among youth is actually a misplaced formulation.
Yeah, it's
not true.
Yeah.
So therefore, this is something that we must also remember. This is not to comfort the opposition. When did India have leader of opposition? To those who have not read history the way I would want to, the first leader of opposition in India came in being in 1969. India got independence in 1947. India had first election in 1951-52. 52 is January, so 1951. When did the first post of leader of opposition goes? 1969. That means the 10% of the house. And who gets it? When the Congress breaks into two. Okay, when Congress broke, not the opposition. When the Congress broke into two, then you had that Y.B. Chavan as a leader of opposition. So this is a history and dynamics of Indian politics. This is not to comfort the opposition must work very hard. This is not to deny, but there are a lot of challenges. As I said, money. Now you say that money power was always there. Personality cult was always there. I remember when I studied the election of Jawaharlal Nehru. You know what was the slogan? Slogan was, a vote for Congress is a vote for Nehru. Not the other way around.
Really? Okay.
So we talk about personality cult.
Yeah.
What was the charge against Nehru in that Purpur constituency where he was contesting? There was a brahmachari who was, he would not talk and he would put a mask. But before COVID, he used to say Nehru is unable to stop cow slaughter. The point I am saying is these were the issues that were there in 1951. It is just that they are finding more traction now in a form of majoritarianism.
Well, thanks so much. Since this is not my podcast, I cannot just continue. If it was my podcast, we would have talked for more than 2 hours also. Thanks so much.
Would have me more.
Yeah. I would give time to audience for questions.
Thank you, sir, for the time. Sir, I just want to, since you are talking about the new generations, the millennials, so millennials are a huge chunk of population right now in the working sector, and then the kind of wealth building that people do these days are most likely last 5-10 years people are into SIPs, mutual funds and this and that. And then recently we see the trend that it's the money they are losing from the market, vanishing like anything. Even today they're 3 lakh crores are just vanished like that, the stock market. So it's really affecting savings, the future and all. So do you think that the present government is really doing enough to tackle all those things apart from the geopolitical thing that is going on? Yeah, because apart from the last tweak in the GST, I think we have not seen any major things despite the market falling, crashing down continuously for several months or years. So if you can shed the light on. By the way, I will be less much.
Yes, again, this is what you are saying is absolutely correct, and this also, so we are hoping to become a 3 trillion economy, 5 trillion economy. So we are hoping to become 3 trillion economy, 5 trillion economy, and we are doing very well also at global level. If you go at the World Economic Forum, the number of Indians who are there among 4,000, guests, I think probably 600, 700, 800 or maybe 1,000 would be, the Indians or people of Indian origin. So, but we have a gross inequalities in society, and like you're saying, the markets are constantly falling, people saving are dipping down. But post 1991, the government of India, I would say, has taken a very clear position that, this thing, what they call it, that we have no business to do business. So they have left it all to the market forces. What they are good at is catering to what we know as Labharti, the welfareism, the kind of dole, the kind of scheme. We are feeding, giving free ration to 84 crore people. It's a staggering number. 84 crore people we are giving free ration. So the government of India, or we are giving, dole to women voters or women in many states, what is known as Ladli Lakshmi Yojana and several others things. So the government, and it's not about just one government, you look at Karnataka government, they all believe in certain amount of guarantees, assured guarantees. So the economic development that you are talking about or hoping for is not there. It's a very lopsided, the rich is making more money and the poor are actually getting free dole. It is the middle class, the working class which is suffering, and a lot of problems are there. I remember there used to be a lot of debate when P.V. Narasimha Rao initiated this economic reforms, and at that time a lot of people within the Congress were also very, very critical of new economic policies. But the new economic policies have become a reality of the day. You cannot wish away. It's the global economic scenario that is guiding. What the government can do is to just offer some kind of what we call it as a bare minimum. So they cannot. So there are people who are getting more dole than salaries. Getting salary is a big challenge, and the government will always say we have no business to do business. I'm very sorry to be saying this, but this is what it is. Any more question?
dynastic politics in Nagaland. In the sense, it's not the same as in the rest of the country. But I think over the past decades, there is a trend towards it. And it's not necessarily from father to son. It could be the nephew, it could be the son-in-law, it could be, you know. So I think that trend is emerging. I'll leave it at that. Two, women politicians. See, women politicians, as you correctly said, cannot get elected on their own. Say something like Mamata Banerjee. She has to be promoted by the leader of the most able party. Okay, so it's not that she's done it on her own. So tickets are not given, on merit. It's given on, who's going to support me, right? So that's also another form of, that family circle. Okay. The other thing, or maybe it's more of a question, how important is charisma towards or in good governance?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we are talking about Rahul Gandhi doesn't have charisma. I mean, okay, maybe he has, he doesn't have. We don't, at least I've never met him. But that way, even Rajiv Gandhi didn't have. Yeah, nor did P.V. Narasimha Rao. Okay. Now, look at Donald Trump. He had a lot more charisma than Joe Biden. How good is his governance? Okay, so we are very caught up with this whole attractive charisma thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but it doesn't produce results. In the same way as you mentioned, millennials are, do more critical thinking and all that. If that is the case, okay, then why are millennials getting hooked on this charisma thing and not looking, not dissecting, analyzing, critiquing the quality of governance at the national level and state levels? Thank you.
I think, ma'am, you have made, I think something very different which I, as a practicing journalist and having seen politicians and political parties from very close quarter, it is actually because we have a very corrupt political system. There is so much of money, black money, that needs to be handled by political parties and politicians, the way elections are fought. And therefore, you need a very strong, trustworthy person. A person who knows. So suppose I am fighting election, I have taken money from many people and I owe it to them. So that kind of transaction cannot be in a file, it cannot be in my laptop. It requires a very high degree of trust and confidentiality, and that is where I think the family members come useful. So one day I was sitting, it was a Diwali time, and I was sitting with the Chief Minister in New Delhi, and suddenly I saw that he became very worried. He was speaking in Hindi, he said, "Arey, wo mithai ka dabba kahan gaya?" So he was looking for a box of sweets which came in Diwali. So I attempted to take his name, but anyway, I said, Chief Minister, why are you so worried about? I said, I'll get you. I'll get you that sweets. What is so big deal? He said, no, you don't, nothing. Then he told me that actually that box of sweets had a lot of, gold in it. Upar kaju ka katli, niche murti, sone ki murti. That is what he told. So apparently his rasoiya, he just spread with it. And he was looking, but there was no police record. We could not go and lodge a complaint. So this I'm telling you an isolated thing that had happened in front of me. What I'm saying is there is a lot of money handling that is required. And politicians are responsible people, so they need to set up a mechanism. So Dr. Manmohan Singh was a very honest man. I have a lot of respect for him. But he was presiding over a very corrupt political system. Because elections were fought, money had to be spent, and political parties need to fund it. All these things are there. So therefore, I think it is very easy to criticize that, there's this dynasty culture, people are, actually because we have this kind of, it's not a justification, it is an explanation. That because we have a very corrupt system, we have all these things, and therefore, and if you look at in other walks of life, my friend, you look at the legal fraternity in Delhi, at least, or in Allahabad, which is a very famous Allahabad High Court, many lawyers have, huge chain of dynasty, doctors, many professions have that. And in politicians also, they face this test of facing the people and winning or not winning. So therefore, I am saying criticism is fine, but if we go deep, then we see that things are very complex.
And about the charisma. Does charisma...
You see, so that I think, according to me, it's a very segmented, market we have. A country like India or country like United States, I think people look at individuals and politicians as it suits them. And I meet a lot of people who tell me that they actually voted for Mr. Narendra Modi, for instance, in 14 and 19 and subsequent, because they thought their personal wealth or earning or income will multiply, and it has not. So, but they are disillusioned, but they have not run out of illusion. So therefore, that is a thing, and that explains why Mr. Narendra Modi's party got just 240 Lok Sabha seats in 2024. It was because of TDP and others that the government, when Odisha, that government was formed. So I am saying that it's a segmented market politics where people cater to go for their leaders and according to their aspirations. The Indian middle class has benefited maximum from, so to say, from the Congress story, the economic reforms, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Rajiv Gandhi, and it has turned its back completely against the Congress party. And this is something for the Congress to decide. But I am saying there is a lot of paradox are there. Personal appeal, matters, but MLAs have very little, and this is another subject matter, MLAs have very little power to deliver. It is the bureaucrats and ministers, or whichever order you want to call it. The MPs have very little role to play. I remember that old Shiv Sena, the people wanted to become corporators, not MLAs or MPs, because they thought as corporators they will be able to make more meaningful difference to their constituency. Therefore, in India, about 40% of elected representatives don't get re-elected. 40%. Why? Because they are not able to deliver. And now you have a thing, as I said, there is a Prime Minister who is electing MPs rather than MPs electing the Prime Minister.
So one question from this side. And we are consuming these very polarized views about everything. But it was really refreshing to see you, present your ideas from a very balanced, with so much of rationality. So thank you very much. And it's more of a question of curiosity. Where do you get this influence from? Like, maybe it was a personal experience, maybe an education, maybe a professor. I mean, what influences your intellectual, foundation?
I think it's all minded, and I think every individual that the God has created has given him or her a kind of free will. We all know what is right and what is not so right, and it is a call that we take in a day 10 times, maybe 50 times. Sometimes we decide. So we all are, in the end of the day, we all are accountable to our own conscience. So we have a kind of code, wisdom, a counsel to listen to. Whether we listen this much or not, you have said a lot of good things. I don't think I deserve it, but I try in my, it's very easy to take side. In the opening sentence I had said, it's very easy to reach to a conclusion. See, to be skeptical, to be agnostic, politically agnostic, or to be, questioning, I think that is a sign of a mature citizen, rather than, when we go to buy any consumer product, let's say we go to buy a washing machine, we do so much of research, whether it is the front loading is good or the top loading is good, what is the kind of that power that is there. We make a lot of inquiries about any consumer product. But when it comes to politics, we are very easily swayed. most people, I'm not talking about this part of the world, we make political judgment as per our emotions. It's not a conscious, it's not an informed choice. The whole idea of my modest effort of writing books on politics, on contemporary politics, is this, that we have a more informed choice. Let people decide as per their leader's strength and weakness, rather than just going by my religion, my sect, my region, my gender. I mean, all kind of things that are irrational, I would say.
What was the basis of that conscience? Like,
I think every human being, educated, uneducated, when uneducated people are also very, I would say, intelligent. Intelligence doesn't come from the artificiality of reading and writing is so got engrossed that we do not envisage a situation where people didn't have ability to write or read or write, and human civilization was very progressive even then, and all the inventions came through the process of learning. So I'm saying we all have a kind of conscience, we all have a free will. It is the matter of how you exercise it. Maybe I'm able to exercise 40%, 60%, whatever ratio. Some may be doing it 80%, some may be doing 100%. So that is it. I don't think it is very easy, it is very difficult to be fair and honest.
I want to press you a little bit on that. But
We'll take one last question.
Okay.
And then, that and maybe one last question.
Yeah.
Okay, we have
Yeah,
more
please.
questions.
Hi. So in reference to your example of Mamata Banerjee, even being successful despite having her type of organization, and also I would like to refer back to charisma and also popularity. It seems like those are the key factors of being successful. So as an entrepreneur myself, in the business world, we often see that startups also thrive on productive chaos before they are forced to institutionalize. So from your study of political history, at what point does a disorganized but successful model become a liability?
I think you have to look at life and times of Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party experiment in Delhi. It was a fascinating study, and the way the kind of traction Mr. Kejriwal was able to get in 2013-14 onwards, 2015 election, and went on, and how he sort of frittered it away. So the kind of faith that people had in him and in his party, and the kind of volunteers he had, the kind of he was able to actually look at politics in a very different manner, away from the prism of caste, creed, religion, etc. And he actually had very good alternative, and the success of it went into Punjab. It had a potential to go pan-Indian, but then again he got sucked into that system, me, myself, liquor scam, raising money, all kind of things happened, and lost that sight of that, what I was saying about conscience, or his inability to exercise free will. And that is where the consequences were disastrous in Delhi.
First of all, I would like to thank people behind Prabha Khaitan Foundation for this wonderful evening and for this opportunity.
I knows that, yeah.
So, my question is regarding the Naga talks that's been going on for a long time now.
Yes.
Why do you think, sir, this has arrived to, it has reached a stalemate? And why this negotiation, in spite of the best effort from the negotiation party and from our state government, and this talk is not, we are not seeing that.
I wish I could answer a very categorical answer, but I think what Narasimha had famously said once, inaction is an action in itself. So again, the Indian state, and I'm talking about in a non-physical way, likes to maintain status quo, and a lot of issues which are very pertinent. As I said, the reorganization of States Commission, there is a very pressing need for it. There is also a need for delimitation. There is a need for have a one national identity card. There is a need for a lot of reforms. We have had economic reform. Why not judicial reforms? Why not social reforms? But I think the Indian state becomes very wary of taking any drastic action, because they believe in Newton's law and Einstein's law, all kind of things that they would be there. So status quo, particularly at the bureaucratic level, is very much exercised, and it is for the political leadership at Delhi to take this, what you are suggesting, to take this forward. I think there is a will, but it is not backed by action, and that is why it's there is a lot of stagnation.
So do
And
you
again,
think
it all comes.
our state government or our negotiating parties should also revisit our approach?
I think I am not the best person to say this. I am not, but I'll tell you, the political parties and in democracy, and it's a very unfortunate part, and I'm not saying in the context of this state or anywhere. See, this is also comes about, numbers in terms of priorities and all those things. Suppose if this was something that was agitating, let us say Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, you may have better results.
Right.
And a lot of bureaucrats I know, they actually are all do not have that kind of vision that one would expect. So and it is their inputs that matters a lot to the political executive. We feel that it's political executive that decides everything, and theoretically and sometimes in practice also. But the initiative is their call. So to remove 370 was not an easy thing. Whatever happened in Kashmir, a lot of other places. It is not that this government lacks drastic act, but the government also picks and chooses. I will not go beyond that.
And you mentioned that in your book, pick and choose.
Yeah. All of you coming here, and it's been a wonderful evening and very enlightening one as well.
On behalf of the foundation, I, Viketuno Rio, Ehsaas Woman of Dimapur, would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude to our author, Rasheed Kidwai, and our conversationalist, R Lungleng, for an engaging evening. Their perspectives and reflections brought depth and delight to the conversation, making the session engaging, enriching, and wonderfully thought-provoking. I would also like to thank Oil India Limited for their dedication and support in favoring the growth of literature and art in the Northeast. We are also grateful to be in association with hospitality and venue partner, Niathu by the park, and appreciate them for graciously hosting this evening. Lastly, thank you to our wonderful audience. Your presence completes the circle,
Absolutely.
turning a gathering into a shared moment of thought, feeling, and quiet discovery. Ours is a nation woven from countless cultural threads, each adding its color and character. In honor of this diversity and in the spirit of fostering deeper cultural appreciation, we are delighted to felicitate the author and the conversationalist with pairs of terracotta artifacts representing central India. I would like to call upon Mr. Subhadeep, AOD of Niathu, to kindly felicitate the author and the conversationalist.
Thank you. Very nice.
Re sa ma, re ma da ma da ni.